World War II DC-3 transport, D-Day Doll, is flown by Craig O'Meara, Ben Clark, and crew chief Andy Connolly. D-Day Doll has actually participated in the D-Day invasion, Operation Market Garden in Holland, and resupply missions at Bastogne and the crossing of the Rhine. And with that, I'd like to just mention real quick before I get started, and a thank you to the Golden West Pops Concert Band. The conductor is Pollyanna Gorman. The bagpiper this morning is Forrest Cormier. And the bugler was Fred McDowell of City Costa Mesa Fire. Thank you. And good morning, I'm Senior Chief Teagle, U.S. Navy retired, and I'll be your master of ceremonies. Before we get started, if I could just have you put your phones on silence, I'd appreciate it. So welcome to the 71st Annual Memorial Day Ceremony here at Harbor Lawn. As I begin, I'd like to recognize City of Costa Mesa, Mayor John Stevens, Councilmember Booley, Councilmember Gameros, Councilmember Marr, Councilmember Reynolds, Councilmember Pettis, in addition our sponsors, the Freedom Committee of Orange County, the Stanley W. Ekstrom Foundation, and Dignity Memorial. Thank you very much. And today, as we have the flyovers, those guys came really early this year. I think they're coming back over. In addition to them, we're going to have the Dawn Patrol, and the Wing Commander is Dan Hammond, and those honor those lost in battle. So thank you for being with us today, you all. If we just look up to the sky right now. It's pretty amazing to think that was 80 years ago that thing was in battle, and it's still running today. So Memorial Day was originally known as Decoration Day, which started in 1868 after the Civil War ended, and this consisted of placing flags on graves of those in national cemeteries. It spread around the country to all who served and died in war. In 1971, Congress approved the last Monday of the month in May, standardizing the name to Memorial Day. Memorial Day is an occasion for both grief and celebration, reflecting on the tragic loss of life and recounting the courageousness of military service. For those who have served, the day holds utmost significance while giving our country the opportunity to pay tribute to the freedoms we enjoy and remember the lives that have been lost in defense of our nation. This respect and admiration for the fallen is something we can all learn from. There are so many ways we can honor their contributions. Today should not be the only occasion we remember them. By sharing their stories, we give them a glimpse of military service and hope that they carry the legacy with them to create a better world and a stronger nation. Honor, courage, and commitment, these are just a few of the American values our fallen heroes lived by and died for. As a nation, we must remind ourselves of these values and do our best to try and live them up to them ourselves. Let us carry forward the legacy of those who've made the ultimate sacrifice for freedom and commit to building a nation of strong, resilient communities that does not forget the past. And now, the eternal flame will be lit by Troops 106 and 711 of the Orange County Council of the Boy Scouts of America. Thank you very much, young man. And now the Freedom Committee will post our military flags. U.S. Army flag, Captain Tim Richards, U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, retired. Captain Richards served with the 508 Army Security Agency when he was enlisted and also served in the 588 Engineer Battalion in Vietnam as a commissioned officer. U.S. Marine Corps flag, carried by Sergeant Victor Real, U.S. Marine Corps. He served with the 4th Marines, 3rd Marine Division. He later trained as a helicopter mechanic and was the first helicopter crew chief for Marine One during President Dwight Eisenhower's presidency. United States Navy flag, carried by Lieutenant Commander Dr. Ben Schwachman, an anesthesiologist in the 1st Marine Division in Vietnam. He helped save lives in many areas in I Corps, including Chu Lai, Da Nang, Phu Bai, Hai Trang, and Dong Ha. U.S. Air Force, carried by Colonel David Fay, U.S. Air Force. Command pilot Colonel Fay served 31 years and 2 tours in Vietnam, where he flew C-141 transport aircraft, as well as CH-53, the Jolly Green Giant, helicopters. U.S. Space Force, our newest force, carried by Staff Sergeant Barbara Van Note, U.S. Air Force. She served her country at 4 different bases in the United States from July 1967 to February 1972. U.S. Coast Guard flag, carried by Chaplain Richard Chavarria, U.S. Army retired. Lieutenant Colonel Chavarria started off 4 years enlisted in the Coast Guard and then served as the command unit chaplain and served with the 21st 3rd Support Group in South Korea, 3rd Battalion, 20th Field Artillery in Iraq during Desert Storm, and with Combat Engineer Battalion when he returned to Iraq in 2005. Prisoner of War flag, POW MIA, carried by Chief Warrant Officer 2 Jim Grimm, U.S. Army. An Army helicopter pilot in Vietnam, he flew UH-1 Huey gunships and slicks for troop insertion, extraction, and medevac missions. Pearl Harbor flag, carried by Quartermaster 3rd Class Lucky Walsh, U.S. Navy. Lucky served on destroyers in the South Pacific, Western Pacific, Southeast Asia, and the Aleutian Islands. He participated in Operation Picture Window, West Pacific, Task Force 8 nuclear testing at Johnston Island. And now we'll have the presentation of colors. Today's honor guard is from the Fire and Rescue Department for the City of Costa Mesa. Please rise, and veterans may hand salute or place your hand over your heart as appropriate as the flag passes. Our national colors will be lowered to half-staff by Colonel David Fay, U.S. Air Force retired, and Corporal Dwight Hanson, U.S. Marine Corps. Our national anthem will now be sung by the Orange Empire Chorus led by Craig Ewing.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hail at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red rockets bursting in air, they flew through the night
I will now lead you in the Pledge of Allegiance. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Retire the colors.
Forward, march.
The invocation today will be given by Chaplain Richard Chavaria, U.S. Army, retired.
If you would bow with me. Lord in heaven, on this day of remembering those who died in service to us and our country, we bow our hearts to you. You are sovereign and you are Lord. Our hearts grieve that there are those who have died. We are aware of need for those who would be willing to die for us in times of emergency and danger. You know the pain of loss. You know of the choosing of giving up of one's life for the sake of others. We know we are not alone in the loss of a father, mother, brother, sister, mother, father, son, daughter, and friends. Lord, I ask for your solace and consolation for those who have lost a loved one. Be with them in their grief. May we support them and love them in their moments of need, of love, and friendship. Together, in this final resting place, we know that the determination and thought process that brings a person to be ready to give his or her life in full devotion of duty. And so today we remember, today we rejoice, today we honor those we know who are willing to sacrifice their lives for us and our country. Your Holy Scriptures state, greater love has no one than this, that someone lay down his life for his friends. We agree and are grateful. We are humbled by the love of those we honor. On this day of remembrance, may we choose to act in ways that always bring honor and recognition for the sacrifices of those we honor today. In your name we pray. Amen.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans wide with foam. God bless America, my home sweet home. God bless America, my home sweet home.
It's an honor to introduce our guest speaker today. Colonel Herman graduated from the United States Naval Academy in May of 2000 and commissioned in the United States Marine Corps. Throughout his career, he served in many capacities. Please see his bio in your program to see all his amazing things that he's done as a career. Colonel Herman is stationed currently as a commanding officer at Marine Corps Air Station Miramar since July of 2024. Colonel Herman has accumulated over 2,400 flight hours in the EA-6B Prowler. His decorations include Meritorious Service Medal with 3 gold stars, Air Medal Strike Flight with numeral 15, Navy Marine Corps Commendation Medal with gold star, Navy Marine Corps Achievement Medal, along with many other medals. And once again, without further delay, please welcome Colonel Robert Herman.
Good morning. Thank you, Dwight, for the honor and the privilege of being here today to give some remarks. Welcome to our families, friends, dignitaries, elected officials, and Gold Star families. Thank you for being here today as we gather in this quiet, familiar place, surrounded by the resting places of those we have lost. Some were friends, neighbors, or family members. Some wore the uniform of our nation. All are a part of the story we honor today. Memorial Day is not about celebration. It is about remembrance. It is a day when we set aside our routines, come together as a community, and reflect on the cost of freedom. That cost is measured not in words or numbers, but in lives. Lives lived with courage and cut short in service to others. Here in this cemetery, like so many others across the country, there are men and women who answered the call to serve. Some came home to build lives and raise families. Others did not. Today we remember those who did not. Each small flag placed by a headstone represents more than military service. It represents someone who walked these streets, who had hopes and dreams, who believed in something greater than themselves. Their sacrifice is not distant history. It is part of our community's fabric. It's a local story lived out in living rooms, church pews, and playgrounds, and felt deeply by families who still carry that loss. Memorial Day challenges us not just to remember, but to reflect, to ask whether we are living in a way that honors those who gave everything, not with perfection, but with purpose, with gratitude, with awareness that our freedoms were secured by others who stood in harm's way on our behalf. Today I remember Captain Jennifer Jean Harris, United States Marine Corps. Jen is a graduate of the United States Naval Academy class of 2000. She and I met in an engineering class our junior year where we were partnered. We were lab partners. I was an economics major and she was a political science major, and that was not a strong pairing. We persevered, we laughed at our shortcomings, and we passed the course. We remained friends, and after we embarked on our Marine Corps careers, crossed paths several times. Jen was a part of the world-famous Purple Fox's HMM 360 floor, flying the CH-46 helicopter out of Marine Corps Air Station Camp Pendleton. She's a 3-time Iraq War veteran. And in the spring of 2006, we found ourselves sitting next to one another in a weapons and tactics instructor course, a 7-week course that tested our limits and tested our abilities in our individual airplanes. Jen was an energetic and optimistic Marine. No one was more genuine or giving of their time to help another. When most college kids were sleeping in on Sunday morning, Jen volunteered to teach CCD for the Catholic kids that came to school, or came to Sunday school. That was pretty impressive. Every care package that she received during those deployments, she wrote thank you letters back to the children, the families, the veterans organizations that supported her and the Purple Foxes. In late summer of 2006, we both found ourselves deployed to Iraq. I was at Al-Assad Air Base, and she was at Al-Taqaddum, about 25 miles apart. And though we never saw one another, it was nice to know that a friend was just down the road. On February 7, 2007, while delivering medical aid, the CH-46 Jen had been piloting was shot down. Jen did not survive. Jen's legacy inspires me every day to be better, to work hard, and to lend a helping hand whenever I can to those in need. I carry that memory with me, not just as a reminder of what we've lost, but what we must preserve. Behind every name and every flag is a family, a legacy, and a promise we make as a nation that we will not forget. The responsibility to remember doesn't belong to the military alone. It belongs to all of us. It's found in how we support the families of the fallen, how we teach our children about service, and how we use the time we've been given to make this country stronger, more compassionate, and more united. So as you leave here today, after the flags have been placed, the flowers arranged, and the final note of taps has faded, take something with you. Take a moment of quiet commitment, a renewed sense of purpose, a decision to live in a way that would make them proud. Because Memorial Day is not about mourning alone. It's about memory and meaning. It's about the promise that we, the living, will not let the sacrifice of the fallen fade into the background of our freedom. May we remember them, may we honor them, and may we live lives worthy of their sacrifice. Thank you.
From the halls of Montezuma to the shores of Tripoli, we will fight our country's battles in the air, on land or sea. First to fight for right and freedom, and to keep our honor clean. We are proud to claim the title of United States Marine. Anchors aweigh, my boys, anchors aweigh. Farewell to college joys, we sail at break of day. We're always ready for the call, we place our trust in thee. Through surf and storm and howling gale, I shall our purpose meet. And the army goes rolling along. And the army goes rolling along. Off we go into the wild blue yonder, flying high into the sun. Here they come to meet our thunder. Attaboys, give her the guns, give her the guns. Down we dive, stunning our fang from under. Off and on, hell of a roar, we live in vain. We're down in Brave Farm, nothing to stop the U.S. Air Force. Hooray!
Thank you very much. And if you didn't miss it, the missing man formation flew by the Dawn Patrol, and the wing commander is Dan Hammond. They should be back, and they'll have a plane lagging behind, and that represents the missing man formation. In the meantime, we're going to get started with our wreath laying, carried by our Freedom Committee member veterans. But first, before we get to the other wreaths, we're going to do the Gold Star family wreath, and that's going to be carried by Miss Maria Simpson, escorted by Corporal Dwight Hansen.
that sees beyond the years. Thine alabaster city's gloom, undimmed by human tears. America, America, God shed his grace on thee, and crown thy good with brotherhood. From sea to shining sea.
Colonel David Fay and Corporal Dwight Hanson will now raise our national colors to full staff. Also, just a note, I just wanted to read a little bit. There's a young man who's buried back here, John William Demar. He was born in Newport Beach in 1932. He enlisted in the Marine Corps, attended boot camp, Marine Corps Recruit Depot, San Diego. He graduated in 1950. He served the 7th Marine, 1st Marine Division, Camp Pendleton. He shipped out to Korea in October 1950. On December 1st, 1950, during one of the most famous battles in the Marine Corps history, the Battle of Chosin Reservoir, he made the ultimate sacrifice. John is located behind you with the American and Marine Corps flag at his grave. There are also flags on all the graves of other servicemen and women who served our country. Some died in combat, most did not, but please take a moment to find one of these graves, read their names out loud, and thank them for the service. We must always remember and never forget their service. Thank you very much. This concludes our ceremony today.
Thank you.